halfway home. It's a lot of fun. Makeup those in Walking Dead, every time the zombies get shot, it's the same blood squib effect over and over again. They have like 11 of them. And they do them, and then they flip them, so it's the same thing, only flipped and fooling nobody. And that's simply because in the old days, what they would do is they would put a condom full of blood with essentially a firecracker underneath it, and explode it, and it makes blood come out. Now, having said that, do not ever do that. I know, kids are always come to me, because I teach the high school and everything, and they're always like, we want to do this, and I know sooner or later they're going to ask, how do we do blood, make it look like someone got shot? How do we make it look like someone got set on fire? How do we make it look like someone, like their eye fell out? What kind of monsters are we raising? This is their social studies project. There are safe ways of doing blood squib effects, usually using compressed air. And if I have to do it, to get actual blood squibs, the actual explosives that push out blood, you have to be licensed. Or you can make your own out of a firecracker. And you will hurt someone if you do that. I can almost guarantee that you will hurt someone. It's a terrible idea. And people are like, well, no, I thought about that. I put a piece of metal underneath the firecracker. Because you're right, nothing better if you're going to have an yes, thank you, right there. Now instead of just a firecracker burning a hole near my heart, I've actually got a hot piece of metal flying toward it. Good thinking, Einstein. So you're depending on the fact that this firecracker is a firecracker like any other you see in the pack, and this was made in China. Quality control maybe not at its best. Maybe this was that one firecracker that got 4 times as much gunpowder as the others. Don't do it. It's just not. There's no safe way of doing it. And we've all laughed hard at YouTube videos where idiots have doused themselves with lighter fluid and set themselves on fire and immediately start screaming as they get first, second, third, and then 4th degree burns in roughly that order. Yeah, there's no safe way of setting yourself on fire. There may well be if you're a Hollywood technician that has these special gels and stuff. I don't know what they're made of. If I did, I wouldn't tell anyone. There's no safe way of doing it. Don't mess with fire. Just come up with a different script or that's where it's good to use CGI. The reason why we use the blood squib computer graphics is you can do it over and over again until it looks right. You set up a person with a shirt and bang, bang, they get blood and blood comes out. Now you got to change the shirt, clean up the set, go back and everything. It's a real hassle. It looks better, but it's a problem. Now, if you really want to do it, and I do think it does look better, you get yourself an air compressor, attach a hose to it, wrap the hose down. You have to do a little bit of finagling to make sure there's a hole in the hose and the blood's not leaking out yet. But if you do it right, the blood shoots out and it looks great. There's also, and this is what I really recommend, a wonderful little thing that Robert Rodriguez, who did El Mariachi and Grindhouse and a whole bunch of really cool movies, called the guacamole gun. You take your air compressor, hose, a big piece of PVC pipe, attached to that on the trigger mechanism. You pour the blood down into it, aim it at the person, and when you go, you press it, the blood shoots out and hits them. Now you're like, well, that's not going to look right. Blood doesn't fly through the air and hit you, it comes out of you. And you're right, but it's so fast that the camera doesn't catch it. If it does, you can clip that frame right out. So it's like a person standing there, there's one frame where this big blooge of blood is coming toward him, and the next one it hits him and sprays out. So you just cut out that frame right as you see it flying toward him. It looks like it just came out, especially if the person sells it by falling back and screaming and all that other stuff. Much better way of doing it, because then you clean up a really big piece. But that's a good way to do it. Let me see. There it is. So, sir, how do I get the thing to start? Oh. Here's a little. Oh, here we go. When you don't touch my milk, I know that's not a Christian name, but when she wasn't able to make it, I didn't really have a lot of time to put a whole lot together. But this is some stuff I've done over the years to show you what's going. Mike Jones, another really good guy, did some of the makeup effects on this too. So let's see. There we go. Oh, so here's the question I get asked more than anything else. How do you make blood that doesn't stain? There's a lot of blood formulas out there. Just Google how to make fake blood and you will get a million hits. It's easy to make fake blood. You need red food coloring and something to put it into. That's about it. The problem is red food coloring is possibly the most staining thing that has ever been invented. I think Teflon will get stained by red food coloring. It's unbelievable how much this stuff gets into everything. And a lot of times you're using someone's house that isn't yours, and you'll never get invited back again if you've got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre happening in their bathroom and you cannot clean all that blood off, and it never comes out. There's always that little pink thing there, and they don't believe it when you say it was there. You know, they know it wasn't there when you got there. So this is the best I've been able to come up with. I do not guarantee it will not stain. You put this on your grandma's wedding dress and it doesn't come out, don't come running to me that I said it definitely would not stain, but it's the best I've so far been able to do. There we go. The trick is this. Now, to make fake blood, red food coloring is unfortunately a necessity. It's what you mix it into that can really determine what it is. You don't mix it with water because that looks like Kool-Aid. I've seen movies where they actually use Kool-Aid. It's not a good idea. You feel free to copy this down or anything. Just go to my Facebook page and I'll send it to you. The trick, so one of the tricks is, one of the main ingredients is laundry detergent. So you're adding it to a soap. That helps a lot. The usual blood formula is red food coloring plus Caro syrup, just plain old corn syrup, dark or light, doesn't really matter. Then thinned out with some water, and that's basic. And then something to make it a little bit opaque. That's okay. It stains like crazy. Now, it doesn't stain as bad. The worst stuff is the bottles of blood you buy at Halloween. They sell them at Kmart, it's called Bottle of Blood, and it looks really cool when it comes out. And then as it dries, it turns pink, which is not the way blood looks when it turns dry. It's awful, and it will stain everything. I do buy those things because a little bit of it added to your fake blood is good because it's got lots of preservatives, so it'll preserve your blood too. And that's cool. But I like to use whatever I can find around the kitchen. It's cheap. It's obviously okay for you to put on your skin because you're allowed to eat it. Well, not the laundry detergent. 1/4 cup of glycerin, you can get that at drugstores. And that thickens it up a little bit so it's not quite as watery as it would be otherwise. A lot of corn syrup, again, that will thicken it up. It's good stuff. And then the thing about blood, a lot of people, they make fake blood and they think it looks like syrup. Blood is not transparent. You can't really see through blood. You need something that will make it opaque without changing the color much. Chocolate syrup is great. Chocolate syrup is really good stuff. It darkens it up a little so it doesn't look too cartoony. That's the other thing too, it's very hard to get the right color for blood. But this is a weird thing. The right color for blood, a lot of people will think it looks fake when they see it in a movie. If you actually see, we're so used now to seeing blood that is dark, that real blood doesn't look real. And part of this is the rating system. If you have bright red blood, they're more likely to give you an R rating than if you darken it up. And somehow that seems less gross to them, and filmmakers noticed this, that the darker they made the blood, the more they could get away with it. And so now you have like Evil Dead, where people are bleeding oil. It looks like they've just hit a gusher and just black blood. It's kind of a cool look, not very realistic. But now the color, Too far. I'm just not. There we go. Mix it all together. Don't mix it too much because remember you use laundry detergent. You mix it too much, you get bubbles. Blood doesn't bubble. It doesn't foam up. For the colors, now you can buy the liquid food coloring. It's awful. Go to Walmart and get the gel food coloring they sell in the icing section. For one thing, you can take that stuff and use it right out of the bottle. It's a great gel blood. It's got a nice color to it. You can spatula that into wounds and stuff. It looks really cool. And it has a lot of pigment for one little thing of that really does a good job. So I also get some washable red finger paint. It's washable. I'm trying to be non-staining here. It isn't the best color in the world, but we're only using it mostly to, again, make the blood look more opaque. Kind of, it's got a lot of pigment, so it keeps it from looking too clear. What I found for the amounts that I was using here, 2 teaspoons of icing, 2 teaspoons of paint, good color. The thing is, you can never really depend on food coloring. The batch you get may have more or less red in it. So you have to be real careful about any formulas you find on the web because they're depending on the batch that they got. And sometimes they just water it down. If you find a really good deal on food coloring, it's probably just as much food coloring as you had before with more water added to it. I also add a little bit of yellow. Kind of brightens it up a bit. You have to be very careful about adding colors other than red though, especially when it comes to blue. Blue's the worst. Blue helps. Characters wear something that shows it off to its best advantage. It's a little thing like that you don't think of till you're there. You can add a little bit of blue. I like adding a little bit of blue, but I mean a little bit. I will take a toothpick and put a dab of blue on it and add it to this because a little bit of blue really darkens up the blood, makes it look good. And if you go too far, it turns purple. And once it turns purple, it never is not going to be purple. No matter how much red you keep adding back to it, it's like, it's gone. I'm purple now. Just enjoy shades of purple. People are bleeding jam. Here's a picture of me with gelatin. Wow. Apparently, there was a point in my life when I was Swedish. I got drunk on Swedish vodka. Wow. I'm truly baffled at this moment.
Gelatin, you get Jello shots.
Yeah, I think my cats jumped on the keyboard. Darn it. What I was probably trying to write is gelatin is. I hope this is going to keep happening throughout the rest of this. This is me with. I did a burn maker. Gelatin is my favorite thing to work with. Not Jello. Gelatin, like you can get Knott's unflavored gelatin at the store. It's just a powder. You mix it with hot water, and it kind of congeals into this gooey mess that then hardens. It's flexible. It's really, really cool. You can do so much with gelatin. It's reusable. You can melt it and use it again. And you can do the best. I mean, you want to do Freddy Krueger, you get melted gelatin, you take a popsicle stick, as it starts hardening, it gets all gooey and makes ridges and valleys and all kinds of cool things. You can get it in your hair, not a problem. It'll come off in a hot shower. You can do just really cool things. There's always a downside whenever everyone's describing something like this. The downside is it goes on warm. Or if you've really screwed up, it goes on hot. And you can burn yourself with it. You can be Freddy Krueger for real, and then that's not good. Done right, it's great stuff.